What's up, y'all? Shoebooty Sports, episode 109, coming at you earlier than usual. This is your host, Graham Powell, co-host Bradley Brown. Say what's up, Brad.
What's happening?
Lots of stuff. It was rivalry week this week. Some basketball going on as well. We'll get to that here in a bit. First, quick shout out to our sponsor. Ladies and gentlemen, Shoebooty Sports is presented by Rhino Races. Rhino Races is a virtual race series that offers 5 different races: a 5K, a 10K, a half marathon, a marathon, and the Rhino Ultra. Sign up for one or all 5 of their races at rhinoraces.com. Run your race at your convenience. Track it with your fitness app of choice. Screenshot your results as proof of completion. Submit that screenshot to rhinoraces.com under the submit results section. Once your results are verified by Rhino Races staff, your award will be shipped to you by mail. Also, check out their gear section for t-shirts, wristbands, decals, and more. That's rhinoraces.com. Rhino Races is the premier virtual running series, and you can find us, Shoebooty Sports, on Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow us on Twitter at Shoebooty Sports. Okay, so the Arkansas Razorback season has come to an end. Football season, that is. Could not have gotten here soon enough. An embarrassing way to go out in the Battle Line Rivalry game at home against Missouri, and a lot going on in that game. Missouri, it was all Missouri from start to finish. They own the game, they have owned the series, and it was just a disaster from kickoff.
If I wouldn't have been in Oklahoma, I would have I would have made some money on that game, but I couldn't bet since I was in Oklahoma.
What was the line on that game?
Oh, like something stupid, like 8.5.
Wow, that's
Yeah, I
weird.
would have I would have loaded up on Missouri. I mean,
Yes, absolutely. You'd be a fool not to. It was a number 9 team versus a 4-win team that you knew was going to stay at 4 wins.
yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, Arkansas was lucky to be at 4 wins
Sack
because they,
fumble was a very fitting way to end the season, was it not?
yeah, it was awful. The whole thing was just, it was terrible. But like you said, fitting way to end the season, just disastrous. It was a disastrous season. I hate it for KJ Jefferson.
Yeah.
I hated it for Jacoby Criswell having to go out there and deal with that. A line that can't block, an inept offense, a bunch of Division II receivers playing in the SEC. That was my big thing early on in the season. That was the first sign of this could be trouble. All the receivers they were talking about, what Tesla was from a transfer from like Lipscomb College or something. I don't even know if that's the name of it. I just know it's a Division II college, and
Yeah.
all the others on the squad are Division II transfers. And it's like, this is the SEC. We need to be getting top tier program receivers, not Division II transfers. This is the SEC. We can't compete in this conference this way. We being Arkansas, and just the offensive line, no
Worst I've
block
ever
all
seen.
season. Yeah, it was bad. It was atrocious. And for an offensive line coach to be your head coach, for that to be your offensive line, it just felt like the start of the downfall, the eventual downfall. I think Sam Pittman. Okay, if you're Hunter Yurachek could do it over. We touched up on this last week. Hunter Yurachek came out and said, told the team, told everyone, made it official, announced on everything that Sam Pittman will be the head coach next season, hoping to spark some momentum as far as recruiting and all that goes. I said last week I love the way he handled it. I did love the way he handled that,
Yeah.
but I don't love that. Doesn't mean I love the move, and I didn't love the move then, and I hate the move now.
Yeah.
So if
Hate
your
it with a
check could,
passion now.
your check could do that over with, he would never say this publicly. But
He hadn't
what
said anything publicly since then. So
there's nothing to say.
yeah.
The biggest meme I saw, I don't know if it was a meme, just a picture of a disappointed him with the caption underneath it, losing $50 million in revenue next season to save an $8 million buyout, something
Yeah.
along those lines. That's how I feel. So if your check could do it again, do you think he'd do the same thing?
Probably not, especially after that performance, man. That was, I mean, I know KJ got hurt, but man, that was some unmotivated playing.
It wouldn't have mattered. It doesn't. If KJ were out there, he would have just gotten pummeled, just like Criswell did.
We came
Like,
out like we did with Auburn and just didn't give a shit.
no, it was there was no there was no care on that offensive line. That's the softest offensive line I've ever seen.
Not
You
one of them better be back next year, and they better all get their scholarships pulled.
like all should be every single one of them should be in the portal, be in the transfer
Yeah,
portal. Like that's the softest offensive line I've ever seen.
they should all
That
put in their resume at freaking Burger King or something. I don't even know if they can make it at JUCO.
what were we taught? Like you and I both offensive linemen at the high school level. Uh, what were we taught? Like the one of the first things we were ever taught was play to the whistle.
Yeah,
Go as hard as you can until you hear a whistle blow. These guys would let up 5, 6 seconds before a play was blown dead, and you saw that all year long from Latham and that. I mean, just that whole crew, guys letting
how
up.
many? Yeah, how many players did you watch come through just untouched?
Too many to count. It happened every play. I mean, it happened pretty much. Okay, and here's the thing: I didn't get home. I worked that day. Okay, and I was leaving early. One because I was ahead of schedule, and my boss doesn't want me going over 40. But also, I had to get my dog to the vet to get his shots before you and I leave the country Tuesday, which is why we are coming at you early tonight, y'all. But more on that later. But yeah, so I get Dexter to the vet. He gets his shots, and I'm actually like 30 minutes early to the vet. So I'm out of there before his appointment even like what was before it was time for his appointment even. And I get home and I'm thinking, okay, I'll just start it from the beginning. I don't have the radio on. Nobody's texting me. I get home, I turn it on, like YouTube TV is it says start from the beginning, but I also have stuff to do later. Like I want to go see the family before they leave, so it's like it's probably going to be ugly anyway. So anyway, it goes to live and it's 20-0 at halftime. I'm like, okay, this is about what I expected. And then before you know it, it's 41-0. And so I'm half paying attention anyway, and then I blink and it's 41-0. I mean, I'm watching the offensive series, and it's just, I mean, it's a disaster from start to finish. I mean, I watch the offense and defense, but when it's that bad, it's not even competitive. You know,
Fayetteville High School could have won by 28. I mean, that was terrible.
yeah. Bauxite High could have put 28 on that defense.
Yeah.
It was an embarrassment, and I know they landed a 4-star guy, the number one lineman in the transfer portal from Michigan State, but that's just one. That's one out of many you're going to have to replace or need to replace. I'll put it that way.
Need to replace all five.
That's as bad of an offensive line as I've ever seen. That's not an SEC offensive line. I don't know that that's
It's not even a Sun Belt offensive line.
yeah. What conference is the University of Central Arkansas in? They used to be like the Gulf Atlantic Conference and then like the Southland You know, they change it all the time at that level. But whatever conference the University of Central Arkansas is in, I don't know if they could. I don't know that
Yeah.
more than two of them can start for that offensive line. The Bears
Mm,
have more respect for that. They're in Conway,
yeah.
Arkansas. But yes, that was it was just a fitting way to end the season. No positives to take away. Even in the presser, when you've got an Arkansas media that's extremely kind as far as media goes, there's no gotcha guys in the press in this state. They want good relationships with the Arkansas staff because they want to get inside scoops. You know, they want to get interviews. They want to treat you. They're going to do their job, but they're going to treat you with the whatever respect you show them. And which Pittman, to his credit, he's very respectful. But Trey Biddy asked a very reasonable question after the game. Coach, after the news of you coming back, you're going to be the coach next season. You're hoping to build some momentum going into next season. How do you do that after this performance? And Pittman, you could tell he just immediately dismissed it. And he goes, I don't know. And then just points to the next guy. And if my boss were telling me that something needed to get done, and how are you going to fix this issue? And my response is, I don't know. I don't know. Then I don't know that I would have my job. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's not what you want to hear. But that's the truth. He doesn't know. He doesn't know how to fix this. And that's why, to me, Sam Pittman is a lame duck coach. I don't think he survives next season. I don't know. I don't know that he finishes next season as the head coach. I'd be surprised
I
if
mean,
they get through week 6 and Sam Pittman is still the head coach at the University of Arkansas next year.
it's sad too because that's one of the easiest schedules we've had in like 10 years.
Yeah, I don't even know what the schedule looks like. I just know this isn't a good team. What's the news on KJ Jefferson? What's the news of the injury? Does anybody know?
I haven't heard anything. I've
And I
not
didn't
heard
even
anything.
and I didn't even see it. I mean, did it look bad? Did it look serious?
Yeah. I mean, he did something to his knee. I mean, it was a guy rolled across his leg, but I thought it was initially from the guy taking a cheap shot at his knee, but it wasn't from that hit. Yeah, he got injured and Missouri fans cheered. So that's all I remember.
Yeah, again, I didn't see that, so I can't say. I'll touch up on Drinkowitz's comments in the here in a little bit, but I hate that for KJ Jefferson. I absolutely hate that for him. He had literally a record breaking season, not individually, but as far as what should have been just the end cap of an incredibly just a great career as the University of Arkansas starting quarterback. Had 2 really good years, despite not a tremendous amount of team success last year. Still got to a bowl game, got a bowl win. And so it gave you something to be happy about going into this season. You hope for good things. And because you got KJ back, so you got a chance. And that I don't know, that team wins 4 games without him. But I just hate that for him. I absolutely hate that for KJ Jefferson. And it pisses me off that
Yeah.
that's the offensive line that Sam Pittman and his staff put together for this young man's what's probably final season as Arkansas Razorback. I hate that for him.
Yeah.
Okay, Drinkowitz's comments after the game asked about the fight. Said his guys were there to play football. Our guys were or their guys were came to fight. I don't hate it. I mean, just looking at it neutrally, I don't hate his response. He's sticking up for his team. But every replay I've shown,
They
Missouri
started the fight.
started it.
Yeah.
Missouri full on started the fight. So he's wrong.
Yeah.
He's incorrect. But at the same time, if I'm in the head coach of Missouri, I'm probably saying the same thing.
Yeah. This is his first winning season in 4 years since he's been there. He's going to run his mouth. So
Is it
let him run his
really?
mouth, I guess. Yeah. The best they finished is with 6 wins, 6 losses, I believe. So
We would
this is
count
their
that as a
first.
winning season at Arkansas. We consider that
Yeah.
a success last year. I don't know if we saw it as a success, but we were like, okay, just get the bowl
Yeah.
win, and they did. So, but he's got Missouri on the rise. I mean, they're a good team. So I mean, you can't. He's a good play caller. He's a good coach from what I've been able to tell.
He's
There's
a douchebag, but he's a good coach.
You can say that about a lot of coaches. Bobby Petrino being one of them. Never met the guy,
You could,
but I've heard
well,
lots
you could
of
say
lots of
you could say
stories.
he's an asshole, but
Yeah, true that.
Drinkwitz is just straight up a douche.
Well, it's yeah, it, yeah. It's hard to argue that based on what I've seen. like I said,
Yeah.
I would say the same thing as he did in the presser, I guess, if I'm the head coach at Missouri. But he's wrong. I mean, Missouri started it, but that's neither here nor there. Missouri's on the rise. Arkansas has fallen pretty hard. So yeah, I don't think Pittman survives the entire season next year. Did you respond to that? Do you agree or
Oh, if he don't do anything with that offensive line, hell no.
I just don't see how you I don't see what you do to just dramatically improve that, you know? I mean, the transfer portal can help with that. Man, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work to be
Yeah,
done.
you need to break out the checkbook and buy you some boys.
I mean, that's what you're going to have to do. I mean, you can legally do that now.
Yeah, I'm fine with us having the highest paid offensive line if it gets us wins.
Yeah, gets us a
I
run
mean,
game, gets us a
we
protection.
gave we gave KJ about $1 million this season for him not to give a shit halfway through. So
Yeah, I don't know that I can say that's on KJ, man. I mean, I didn't see any game this season where KJ Jefferson didn't give
Auburn,
his all. I mean, he may, yeah, but man, that game was really over. I mean, from kickoff, and what can you really do if you're on your back every play? You know, he made some bad decisions, but I said that was going to happen at the start of the season. I'm shocked KJ didn't throw double digit interceptions. I figured he'd have 15 picks by the end of the season, and this is a quarterback that takes care of the football. I said that's not him not giving a shit. That's him running for his life and just having to get rid of the football out of desperation. And you take hit after hit every play. Eventually, I don't care how tough you are, you're going to get rid of the ball earlier than you should have. You're not going to hold on to it as long as he does when you've taken hit after hit through 3.5 quarters. So I can't say that about KJ Jefferson. I won't say that about KJ Jefferson, but that offensive line was just piss poor.
yeah,
And I'll say that about Rocket Sanders. But at the same time, if I'm getting hit in the backfield every time I touch the ball, at a certain point, I don't know that I'm going to care either. You know, not excusing it, just saying I get it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm done with Razorback football right now for this season. I'm glad the season's over. Do
you
you
want to
have
get
any?
some fix that if you want to get some good season tickets for the future, this upcoming season's probably going to be the best time because a lot of people are dropping them.
And I don't blame them. And I'm good. Like
Yeah.
I'm good. I'll tune into a little bit of it next season, see how it goes. That's the thing. I'm just at this point. I'm looking for content. I'm gonna turn on. I'm gonna turn on the TV and just see how it goes. I'm gonna look at the story in front of me, and once if it's anything like this season, I eventually get disgusted, like I did two of these last three games. I'm just gonna change the channel. I'll go to something.
Yeah.
I'll go to a competitive football game. I'll watch teams that can play football and coaches that
Yep.
can coach. And yeah, we
Yeah.
didn't see that this season.
Look like most of the other rivalry games, I mean, with the exception of Oregon State, Oregon tried to make it somewhat competitive. I mean, hell, even Vandy put up 24 on Tennessee.
It was a great weekend of games. It
Oh,
was your
yeah.
typical rivalry week. It was a very good slate of games. I packed all Saturday night, and I had to keep taking breaks because game after game was just kept being competitive, and I was like, okay, I got to stop and see how this one, plays out. All the way from the Iron Bowl to the Washington State game, the Apple Cup, whatever they call it.
Did you get to watch the Michigan Ohio State game?
Oh yes, I did.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
I should have started with that because that was an 11 a.m. game actually. But
Yeah.
yes, that excellent game. I think Michigan can. Okay, before we jump to that, anything to add on Razorback football before we close the chapter on
Trash.
this book and then throw it in the dumpster and then light it on fire?
Oh,
Same. Okay, well
saved
that's
me
a
a lot
wrap
of
on.
money on Arkansas gear. I'll say that.
Yeah. Well, that is a wrap on Arkansas Razorback football, folks.
Hooray.
thankfully. So, okay. I think Michigan, going back to the Ohio State Michigan game, I think Michigan can hang with anybody. I think Michigan can be your national champion. I would not pick them to beat Georgia, but I would not be surprised if they did beat Georgia. And I think they can hang with Georgia like Ohio State did last season.
I think Georgia can beat them by 2 possessions.
I think they can too. But I think Michigan can beat them. I mean, Georgia wasn't impressive against like Georgia Tech, Saturday.
No, but they
They
didn't
beat them
have
by 8.
Bowers or yeah.
True. I mean, like I said, I would not pick them to beat Georgia, but I mean, come on, you could see Michigan winning it all, can't you? JJ McCarthy is big time. He made some big time throws in that Ohio State game. He threaded the needle on 2 plays on the run. I don't know how he got the ball in there. How much of the game
Yeah.
did you see?
I watched it all. That one he threaded into the end zone, that was I could have went either way, depending on how they called it.
He
But
was
yeah,
in.
his guy, he was in. The guy caught it. Yeah, he was still trying to. I mean, technically, he had control of it, and then it got stripped.
Once the
But yeah,
ball
just
crosses the white, once
yeah,
it touches
I,
that white line, the play's dead.
I know, I know.
And he didn't strip the ball till well after the play was over.
Yeah,
So that's a score there. To me, that wasn't that controversial.
yeah.
Ryan Day was throwing a fit over every little thing, and he wasn't right
Just saying,
until
it was close.
he wasn't right until like the last possession. I don't even remember what happened, but I remember that I was like, okay, Ryan Day's got a gripe there.
Yeah.
Uh, what did you think of that, by the way, at the end of what was it on Ohio State's last possession? That was like a catch and then a fumble, and they ruled it a catch. To me, that looked like an incomplete pass.
It did. It happened really quick. I didn't see the football move that apparently the refs did, but that's the way they called it.
Yeah, and that's the way they
And
called
then
it on
there
the
was that.
field. And yeah,
Then there's that pass on the sideline where, man, it looked on one on a couple of the replays, it looked like you could see some green in between the cleat and the out of bounds. And on one angle, it looked like his toe was over. And then you had 2 refs arguing if it was complete or incomplete, and they ruled it incomplete on the field and didn't have enough evidence in review. But that was another close call. There's a lot of them in that game.
so that's three in a row now that Ryan Day has lost to Michigan. Here's the thing: they're 11-1, and they're talking about is he going to be back next year?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It's a little stupid. Well, not even a little. It's a lot of stupid. People saying, hell, he's lost 7 total games the whole time he's been there.
It feels like it. And
I
and
mean,
they had the national champions on the ropes last year. I
yeah.
mean, had them on the ropes, had them beat really in a lot of ways, and just But I don't. But I will also say I don't think he's a great coach. I just think he's in a good position. I think he took over a situation that was impossible to not succeed at
Oh
in a
yeah.
lot of ways. I mean, Urban Meyer, say what you will about him, but he's a great college football coach. And
Very, very hands-on coach.
yeah, and yeah, and I mean, just built a national champion at Ohio State, recruiting top notch there in that conference in that area of the country. Was outdoing Michigan in every way, shape, and form.
Yeah.
And Ryan Day takes over, and it took time, but Harbaugh has surpassed him. I mean, Michigan is now, I would say, the top program in that conference. How could you say they're not, right? Going to the college football playoff yet again. Or that's if they take care of business this coming Saturday, in the Big Ten championship game against Iowa, which I would, nothing surprises me, but they should take care of Iowa then, just from the fact that Iowa can't score points.
Yeah.
I mean, Iowa is 10-2 and has about as bad of an offense. Well, not as bad as Arkansas, but it's like just the fact that I'm even thinking it, the comparison just says all you need to know. And that's a 10-2 football team.
Vegas set a historically low point total for that game at 24.5, and it still went under.
Wow. So, yeah, but I got Michigan taking care of business against Iowa.
Yeah.
I think Michigan can. I do. I think Michigan can beat anybody. Not saying they will. I'm just saying I think they can. And the top four teams are they were announced. It's what Georgia 1, Michigan 2. Oh, who was 3? Drawing a blank here.
I haven't seen them, so I'm going off of what you're saying.
Okay, I remember now. Okay, Georgia 1, Michigan 2, Washington 3, Florida State bumped to 4. So
Oregon's sitting there at 5.
I believe so. I believe Oregon's 5. I don't know where an 11-1 Texas team is sitting. A team that beat Alabama. Who was their loss
They've
to?
got to
Wasn't
be.
it to
They've got to be.
Oklahoma?
Yeah, to Oklahoma in overtime. They've got
Uh,
to be sitting at number 6. Got
yeah,
to.
it's have to.
But I think Oregon's going to get their way in there after they win this next week. So
I think Oregon beats Washington also.
yeah, Washington hadn't looked. They've kind of squeaked by in the last couple of weeks. So
There's no kind of. They full on squeaked by in the last few weeks.
yeah,
And Saturday was no different. Ballsy move, by the way, going for it on 4th and 1, like at your own 20,
yeah,
with the game tied. But I loved the play call. Absolutely loved the play call. You basically gave Michael Penix Jr. an option that play, and take the better option. He did. You trust your quarterback, your Heisman candidate quarterback, to make a play, to make the right play. He did. Washington marches down the field, scores, wins the game. I mean, that's kind of the Washington football program, though. I mean, they always have a really good record. It seems like, or oftentimes kind of either just out of the college football playoff picture or on the very edge of it, like in there. But they'll win like these really close games against teams that on paper they should blow out of the water too. Now it's a rivalry game. I get it, but yeah, I'm with you. Washington has won by the skin of their teeth in these several of these last or a couple of these last several games. And Oregon is Oregon is very hot right now. I don't want to say white hot, but man, they are hitting on all cylinders right now. Bo
yeah.
Nix, I think, is your Heisman Trophy winner. Um, I could see Jaden Daniels getting the invite and finishing as number 2. But to me, and I said this last week, and you did too. I mean, it's got to be Bo Nix, right? As of right now.
Yeah, I would say so. The tougher schedule has to go to Jaden Daniels, but yeah, the numbers have to go to Bo Nix. And even though Jaden did beat him this last week, he accounted for more touchdowns, but I think you got to give it to Bo.
By beat him, you mean what? Like just better statistics?
Yeah.
Yeah. But like you said, record wise, Oregon better football team, at least on paper, record wise. Their only loss was against in a very close game against Washington, undefeated Washington. You get a chance to reverse that in the Pac-12 championship game. And Bo Nix has a big game Saturday. I don't see how you don't. And if they win, especially if they win, I don't see how you don't give it to him.
It's his to lose.
And the Jaden Daniels thing, going back to that, when they played Alabama, I mean, it wasn't his fault. I mean, he had good numbers, but I mean, he got knocked out of the game. You're looking for a Heisman moment from somebody like that in a big game like that, and he didn't have that. So to me, that knocked him down a couple of points there. for me.
Yeah.
So I'm all for Jaden Daniels getting the invite. Probably even placing second, because who do you put over him? I mean, Michael Penix Jr., is he getting the other one?
No, I don't. I
Yeah.
don't think so.
As far as just the invite, getting the invite to New York, though. I mean, who
Yeah,
do you
he'll
pick?
probably be invited, but they usually invite what, 4?
No, sometimes it's just 3. Sometimes they'll just, I mean, if it's close, I mean, if there are plenty of playmakers out there, they'll invite 4. But what was it, last year, the year before? They just had 3 people invited, and that's all that was needed. Because you kind of knew what was going to happen with it being Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Um, this season, I think it's between 2 guys. I think Penix will get the invite, but I think it's either Jaden Daniels or Bo Nix, and a lot of that's going to be determined by how Bo Nix plays Saturday. It's his to lose to me at this point. If he goes out and just shits the bed against Washington in the Pac-12 championship game, I could see it trickling on down to falling in Jaden Daniels' hands, because he's done. LSU's done until the bowl game.
Oh.
But Bo Nix goes out and shows out. He's going to be your Heisman Trophy winner. How do Auburn fans feel about him? How does Barry feel about Bo Nix?
He loves him. So,
Barry is Bradley's dad. Everyone, a big
yeah.
time Auburn fan.
I got to watch the Iron Bowl with him too over the weekend. That was interesting.
Yeah, let's talk about that before we get out of here.
Worst call I've ever freaking seen. Ever.
What a finish, man.
Biggest
Wow.
choke job I think I've ever seen ever. You muff the punt with 2.5 minutes left, give them the ball, then somehow get them 4th and goal from the 31-yard line, and you rush 2 and spy with 1. That's not how you play prevent defense. You've got to rush him.
Well, what you said last week rang through my ear as soon as that happened. Prevent defense prevents you from winning. And that was definitely the case here. You can't rush because it's essentially a 35-yard play. You can throw it in the end zone. You can't give the quarterback all day to find somebody to get open or to find a good option.
Yeah. Find one of these 5-star receivers. Yeah. I mean, how dumb can you be?
And Saban said, he was like, we work on that. Believe it or not, we work on that. And you could tell he was like, I mean, it's usually not that good of a situation.
Yeah. I bet in practice he doesn't get 10 seconds to sit there and pick and choose who he's going to throw it to.
Exactly. He probably has a 4 or 5 second window, and then he's got to make a throw. He's got to make a throw to the back corner or something.
He's probably making it on the run too.
Probably so, like rolling left or right.
Yeah. He just sat in the pocket as comfortable as could be. I don't even think an Auburn player was within 5 yards of him the whole freaking time.
Wasn't close. Well, the 2 guys they had rushing were double teamed.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah, Milroe makes the throw. Like you said, the muff punt, set it up. Receiving the punt and then just being able to run out the clock. The way Auburn was moving the football, and I mean, Hugh Freeze was dialing up the right offensive plays, moving the chains. But to muff the punt there, setting it up for Alabama's offense, Alabama did everything they could to lose it offensively. The bad snap. I mean, it's 4th and goal on the 35. And I think they called timeout. I think that was Auburn coming out of a timeout, and that was their defense.
Yeah. Hey, you 2 guys on the end, y'all sit there and play patty cake while the other guy just sits there and stares at him and throws a 31-yard touchdown.
So at that point, why have anybody rush? Like at that point, why even have anybody rush? Just drop everybody back. That's stupid. I mean, you've got to you got to rush 4.
Rush 4. Maybe have a 5th guy as a spy, but you have to rush 4. Don't rush 2, because those guys looked gassed, man. They had no penetration at all. Like,
yeah, and I don't even know if you need a spy, because you're
No, because
rushing
he's going to
4.
run and get tackled. Like
Yeah, he's not going.
he's
He's
got to
not
make
going
it
to.
31 yards.
He's not going to run. He's going to throw it up in the end zone.
He,
So I mean, rush 4, drop everybody back. I mean, and then have some people at the 10 or whatever you got to do. Have 1 or 2 there, man. That's not how you do it. But what a throw! I mean, put it in a perfect spot,
yeah,
and the catch,
but
dude, my jaw hit the floor. I was in
oh, I
my
could.
recliner, and I was full on. Just I couldn't believe it.
The only thing
Like,
I could say was, "Wow, you actually let them pull that off."
yeah,
Barry was over there cussing in disbelief. I was keeping my mouth shut, but the only thing that was really going through my head was, man, that's such an Arkansas way of losing a game.
exactly. That was a full on Arkansas way of losing that. That was wild. It was a wild game. It always is. It's a wild, like, we remember the kick 6 for Auburn. That was like 10 years ago almost at this point. Might have been
It
10
was
years
10
ago.
years, yeah.
Okay, 10 years ago. And 10 years later, we're going to be talking about this Milroe to was
The
it
the
Bond?
Milroe, yeah, the Milroe Miracle is what they're calling it, I think.
That's perfect. It's
Perfect.
perfect because that's what it
Fourth
was.
and 31. It could be
And
called the freeze basic move of being a dumbass. I don't know, but that was or the worst call in defensive history. But
I would have
the
said
Milroe Miracle.
I would say the freeze F up personally,
Yeah.
but we're trying to keep it clean on this show, y'all. So I wouldn't be surprised if that catches on though. But yeah, it was a wild game as usual there at the Iron Bowl. Okay,
And
SEC championship game prediction, especially if Alabama actually goes on to like win the SEC championship, get in the college football playoff, and somehow win the
dude,
thing.
that
That's where it starts.
I think that's bad.
It's all right. So SEC
If that
championship
happens.
preview. Yeah, SEC championship preview. Who we got? We
I've
both
got
taking
Georgia
Georgia.
still. Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
Georgia ain't gonna do that shit of rushing two and playing patty cake.
Kirby Smart's not going to allow that. I'm gonna say Georgia. I'm gonna say Georgia 38-28. What do you
Yeah, I
say?
like that. I was gonna say Georgia by 10.
Okay. Well, give me a score. You can agree with me because it's a really good score
I
prediction.
think it's gonna be a pretty high scoring affair. We'll do I don't know, 45-35 somehow.
Okay. I like mine better. I was gonna say I like mine better. 38-28. But all right. Okay, we're out of time. We're gonna get out of here, y'all. Not coming at you Tuesday, and we will be gone next Tuesday as well. We will be back December the 12th, Tuesday, December the 12th. I believe my math is right there. Brad and I will be going overseas, Amsterdam, Belgium, Paris, baby. And we'll be back to tell y'all all about it, catch up on sports and then some. But until then, we're going to get out of here. Bonjour. Till next time.
Yep.
Deuces.